a select cast of age group athletes has been chosen to share their journey to Kona. From early training all the way through their qualifying race, they will attempt to get to the World Championship on the big island of Hawaii. Some will make their Kona dream come true, and some will not.
My name is Adam Hill. I live in San Clemente, California. Anxiety has been a part of my life since my 20s, when it really hit me out of the blue with very intense, very debilitating panic attacks. I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't understand it. Alcohol became a solution to my anxiety issues. I would have a couple drinks and immediately the anxiety would dissipate. So it became a very destructive downward spiral in my life that lasted for many years. When I first saw IRONMAN on television back in the early 2000s, I looked at that and thought of how amazing everybody was that was competing in the Ironman. And that was the big turning point where I began to seek help. The Ironman, training and racing, those are the things that I can continue to obsessively focus on and continue to keep my anxiety at bay. I'm training for Ironman Santa Rosa. I'm training to qualify for Kona.
To qualify, Adam must place in the top 3 in his 35 to 39-year-old age group at Santa Rosa.
Kona is the pinnacle of triathlon. It's where triathletes aspire to go. And the reason that's the case is because it's not limited to just pros. It's the pinnacle for amateur athletes as well. I'm truly fortunate to have been able to find Ironman, to find this passion, and to be able to chase this dream of going to Kona. The amazing thing about the start cannon is that it automatically is shifting my focus from this feeling of anxious tension that I had before the race to adrenaline and absolute and obsessive living in the present. I'm focusing on putting one arm in front of the other. Anxiety is no longer an issue. Now I'm 100% focused on what I can control. That's a beautiful part of the race.
Ironman age group athlete Adam Hill is in Lake Sonoma with just over 2,000 other athletes here in Santa Rosa, California.
My weakest discipline is the swim. I'm an adult onset swimmer, and that essentially means that I wasn't much of an organized swimmer growing up. I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear about swimming, but my confidence in the swim is pretty strong now. I have to be careful of that, because if I draw conclusions from what my swim time is, I'm going to let that affect the next 8 hours of my race. And that is not a good thing to have hanging over you for that whole race. It's best to get through the swim. It is what it is. Move on and do your best for the rest of the race. To achieve Kona, I believe I'm going to need at least a 1:10 or faster.
Adam is out of the water in 32nd position. His swim time is 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds. He is just over his target time, and at this point, out of Kona contention. The 35 to 39-year-old age group Adam's competing in is highly competitive, with only the top 3 finishers eligible for a spot in Hawaii. Adam exited the water 17 minutes off the leaders in his age group. But with more than 200 kilometers to go in this race, there's a lot of time for him to make up that gap.
Santa Rosa, it's a very flat course, but there's going to be a lot of turns, which by their very nature are going to slow you down. So executing those turns effectively and making sure that I can maintain a consistent pace without surging my power too often, I should be good.
Adam is setting a blistering pace on the bike, slicing through competitors and making up significant time. On pace to finish the bike in a sub-5-hour time, Adam can move into Kona contention if he can keep up the intensity.
My goal for the Santa Rosa bike is a 440.
Adam finishes up the bike in 4 hours, 52 minutes, and 37 seconds, the 3rd fastest time in his age group.
My ability to run is only as good as my ability to execute well on the bike. So if in a worst case scenario, if I get out of the swim and I'm not happy with my time and I over push the bike, I'm not gonna have a good run. That moment you hit the wall and your body is telling you that you can't go on. You have to pull yourself out of that funk by just continuing to take steps forward, whether you're running, walking, or crawling. The Ironman finish is impossible to compare to anything else in the world because it is this perfect combination of adrenaline, fatigue, exhaustion, and pure absolute joy.
Number 56, Mr. Kona, Adam Hill. Yeah. Way to get it done, Adam. You are a nice.
Adam finishes in a time of 9 hours, 29 minutes, 7 seconds. A strong performance.
When my wife told me that I qualified for Kona, that I had actually achieved my dream of going to the Big Island and racing in the IRONMAN World Championships, that had been my goal ever since I started racing Ironmans and shouting to the world that I can overcome fear.